Good morning! Welcome back to this third part of this awesome compilation about all the things that I have learned in these 2 years of riding. If you haven't seen the previous videos, I suggest you to go to watch them because otherwise you will not be able to understand what I'm going to explain in this video. And to help you, I've linked them below. By the way, now let's dive deep into the latest things that I've learned about riding. Okay, so at this point, I have learned how to move the body, how to make the bike do what you want, and we are in June 2019. And now I finally started to focus on how to make the bike do what you want. Edoardo once again taught me that you must make the motorbike do this. Weight transfer from the back to the front, from the front to the back. You must use the weight transfer to ride, because when you brake, the bike becomes shorter and more agile. When you corner, the bike gets longer and more stable. And when you accelerate, the chain pulls the rear tire close to the front, making the bike shorter, more agile, and easier to corner. So before braking, I was making the mistake of releasing the throttle and then braking. And what happens? It happens that when you release the gas, the weight transfer a little bit to the front because of the engine brake. And if then you brake, the weight transfer for the second time to the front. And making this movement in two different moments make the suspension work not so good. The braking must be done immediately after you release the throttle. So full gas, boom, you brake. Full gas, boom, you brake. There must be no dead zone between throttle and braking. Okay, but how do braking is done? Last year I used to go on the brake really hard. I did like 20 bars and then release them immediately. And every braking was different from the other ones. One was like this, the other was like this, the other was like this, the other was like this and then down. And the mechanics were going crazy because they couldn't find the right setup. Once I was compressing the suspension full, one other time I didn't reach the full compression. I used to play with the lever. And once again, Eduardo, my friend, fixed this behavior. And it took him 10 minutes. Can you imagine how much money, fuel, tires, time I saved thanks to those 10 minutes? He said, brake more gently, like 10, 12 bars, but as soon as you pull the brake, hold it, like that. Do not play with it, hold it, and find the right measure. And that moment, start downshifting while holding the brake. And as soon as you start to lean, release the brake, but bring the braking even just a little bit until the mid-corner. So once you start not playing with the lever, the suspensions work smoother. You have one only weight transfer to the front and the front stays there. So you don't make the bike drunk, you feel better, you don't get exhausted, and you feel more confident with the bike. So at this point, we have to accelerate. We stop the braking and we need to start using the gas. We need to reduce the dead zone between the time we release the brake and we accelerate almost to zero. But at this time comes a very frequent mistake. You're leaning, you release the brake and you accelerate. Two things may happen. Either the rear pushes the front, you lose it and you fall. Or you accelerate too much, you lose the rear and you make a high side. Every time we accelerate, we must put the bike straight. This is the so-called pick up. You're leaning, and when you accelerate, bike up. you release the throttle, bike down, you accelerate, bike up. This way, by straightening the bike and keeping the body out, you can accelerate more, because with the bike straight you have the maximum grip. You don't risk to release the front because the bike is straight. And by keeping the body out, we keep cornering, so we can accelerate earlier. Also, one thing that my friend Marcon told me is that if when you accelerate the bike starts shaking, if you are out, the bike shakes. If you are on the bike, you shake with the bike and amplify the movements. Okay, at this point we need to accelerate at full gas. But the movement from like 20% to 100% must be smooth. At the beginning I thought that the faster you accelerate, the faster you exit from the corner, which is wrong. Because if you accelerate too fast, the rear starts to shake and the bike becomes unstable. The motorbike wheelie, so the electronics cut the power. And you stress a lot to control the motorbike. While if you accelerate smoother, you exit faster, the electronics don't cut the power, and you are way more relaxed. I was riding faster and easier, and that's crazy. Okay, it's true that you ride the bike with the body, but you also ride it with physics. When you accelerate, the bike tends to go straight. And when you release the throttle, you load the front, the bike becomes shorter and it's easier to corner. So you can use this physics to make changes of direction easier. For example, let's take a left-right chicane, okay? So you're cornering on the left. You must change direction, so you accelerate a little bit, the bike goes straight, you put your body on the other side, and then you close the throttle, the front goes down, and you corner much easier. And at the beginning, I used to do the change of directions with the gas constant. And the bike was so hard to move, because with constant gas, it feels harder to change direction. But with this, there is a problem, which is if you accelerate when you put the bike straight, it tends to wheelie. And if you change direction with the front wheel up, you risk to lose the front and fall, like I did the first time that I've been riding the Mini GP. A stupid fall, but I fell. So the thing you want to do when you're accelerating to change direction is to put your body in the front to make the front wheel stay down and make it easier to change direction. Finally, I realized how to ride the 1000. You must not make U lines in corners, but you must make V lines. Well, actually, I already knew it, but I didn't know exactly what that meant. And this is a very complex topic which needs a dedicated video that I will make soon, because this is really the key of the riding of 1000 and also the 600. So this is it. This was a recap of all the things that I have learned, and I really do hope that you enjoyed it. I really do hope that you found it useful, and even if you're not passionate about motorbikes, I hope that you found it interesting to know how many things that stays behind the motorbike riding. So, as I said in the beginning of the video, please let me know in the comments if there's something that you want me to explain deeper, more in detail, and like all the comments that you agree with, so that I will read them and, think about the next video. Thanks again, thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and see you next video. Bye bye!